Yo, what's good, everybody? Welcome back to the greatest show on earth, the Millionaire Mindsets Podcast. I am your host, Xavier, and today I got another amazing episode for y'all. But before we get started, I would like to advise all the listeners, everybody that's watching, to please hit that subscribe button, leave us a great rating and review, all those things. As y'all know, we're trying to continue to run those numbers up. So if y'all can show us that support in return, we would greatly appreciate it. And getting right to it, I got another special guest. This guy, he was on the show. It was about a year and a half ago. Went crazy, gave out so much game. We had some viral clips, viral moments, and I'm excited to have him back. My brother
Me
Darius.
too, man. Appreciate you, man. Good to see you again, bro.
Hey, man, the last episode we did, they loved it, man. You talked about how to get a $100K in funding in 90 days. You talked about how to get your rent on your credit history. That was big.
Nah, for sure.
People still DM me about that to this day. I'm
believe
like,
it.
bro, why y'all DMing me? I ain't doing this out of here, bro. So let's like I said, that was a year and a half ago. So I know there's been even more informal things you got to give the audience. But first, bro, how you been?
I've been good, man. I've been blessed, bro. Business has been growing, helping a lot of people. We got this past year, we had our first 7-figure year.
Congrats,
so
bro.
Appreciate it.
That's amazing.
So it's been good, bro. It's just, I always say the better you get, the easier it gets, So we just been growing, man. Yeah.
How that felt in that first 7-figure?
It was good. It was good. And it's crazy because sometimes we be so caught up in the work. I didn't really know it. And then one day, ClickFunnels come up every year. And I see people getting their awards. So I hit up my operation manager, like, Susie, where we at in the last 12 months? And she sent me our P&L sheet, 1.25 million. And I was like, damn. So I sent it in. I was like, hit up ClickFunnels, send in you guys sending that proof and everything. Yeah. So
did you celebrate?
Not yet. I'm waiting for my award. Then I'm gonna do it big.
Okay, you're gonna do it big. I ain't mad at it, bro.
Yes, sir.
So for the listeners who watch, because I know they want to know how they can get some funding for their business, especially in these times. Last time we talked, it was already rocky times for most people in the economy, but today it's crazy.
It's real, yeah. You ain't lying.
It's some dark times.
You ain't lying.
So let's get the people some game on how they can help elevate their business or whatever they got going on.
Absolutely. So first, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna show you how to get access to the funding, and then, like you said, it's a time now where we in a recession. Like, people are hurting out here. Yeah. So what we've been focusing on is helping people make more money faster. So I'm going to show you how to get $100K in funding, and then how y'all can make an extra couple $100,000 this year with funding. Yeah.
Word, break it down, bro.
Yeah, for sure. So I know last time we went over how to really build out that profile. I always like to review that because that's the foundation of everything. Yep. So what y'all want to do is make sure that, 35% of our credit report is going to be consistent of on-time payments. So making sure that they have enough primary accounts, which is just anything that's in your name, whether it's an auto loan, student loan, traditional loan, credit builder accounts, right? And if you don't have these primary accounts, what you could do is go add those primary accounts, right? You can go check out the Self, the Kickoff, the Credit Strong, Tomo, and these are just going to report on-time payments to the credit bureaus every month. So now, instead of having nothing reporting, now we have every month they're reporting to TransUnion, Equifax, and Experian. All right. What I also always recommend to people now, I'm big on building relationships so we can come out the gate and get some personal funding.
Relationships with the banks.
Relationship with specifically credit unions. And the reason why is because we need to start off with some decent limits so we can go get the high limits on the business side. Traditional banks, a lot of times you go to these tier 1 banks and they'll give you, $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 out the pop. But the thing is, when we go to the business side later, they're usually going to give you 2 to 3 times the amount of the personal side. So I tell you, start off with a credit union. You can go check out a service credit union. Right. The reason I like service credit unions is because they're going to allow you to get multiple products with just one inquiry within a 30-day time frame. So you could go get a personal credit card, a personal loan, and a business credit card, all on the same inquiry with service, right? And they're a national-based credit union. So what I tell people is, most people think credit unions, you got to live in that state. Now, if you go to AmericanConsumerCouncil.com, you sign up with American Consumer Council, now you're good to get into about 75-80% of credit unions worldwide, nationwide. So
what credit limit would they need to have?
So in terms of their credit score, what they're looking for is at least a 680, right? Which is cool because traditional banks, they want that 720. Yeah. So now you get a little more leniency. Yeah. So you can get in there with 680, 690. And once you get approved for the credit card, I would say go for that first, then double back and ask for the loan or the line of credit. Because once you're already approved under that inquiry, they've already looked at your report. Right. So now when we go for the second product, 9 times out of 10, my people are getting it. Right. So that's what I would start off with. Another play y'all can run is Justice, Federal Credit Union. They're giving out multiple products with the one inquiry. And the reason, again, that we want these because now we do something called product stacking, where think about it. We basically setting up a resume in a short period of time. So when we go to get the business leverage, now they see, dang, he's handled lines of credit or she's handled lines of credit. They've handled credit cards. They've spent it, paid it back. They're deemed responsible. So it's a no-brainer when you're looking to get $50,000, $40,000, $30,000 on the business side, right? So that's how I set it up foundationally. And I know a lot of our people, we struggle with like utilization issues, right? So if you're someone who's struggling with utilization issues, I would check out some of these personal loan products like going to SoFi, Upgrade, Avant. And what they'll do is they have pre-approvals too. So it's not going to be an inquiry to see if you have the offer. So you'll get approved for the loan, right? Because most people don't know credit card utilization is based on specifically credit cards, not loans. So if you get a loan, you get that money, you take that money, you pay down the credit cards. Now you're back in the game and your credit report looks good to the lenders on the business side. Exactly. So yeah, that's how I'll build that out. Now that's the foundation, right? My 3-step process is really like foundation, optimize, and then leverage. So next is setting up your business. Now we got the reports on the personal side. Now we got some credit cards reporting, making sure your business is structured and set up the right way. Business phone number, business email, business address. Right, go to opus.com, get you a simple business address. A lot of people go wrong, right? Because they go and they get a Staples, a FedEx, a UPS, or they just don't do their homework. So now that they don't know that their business address is deemed red flag. So now they're not getting no money, right?
That's a big red flag.
It's a huge.
Staples.
Absolutely.
How important is when you filling out the application for having like the correct, because I know a lot of times people, they feel like just a real estate company or something. I know a lot of times when they loan their money, that's kind of like they hesitate.
Super red flag. Absolutely. So what you want to do is, I always say you want to stay in a low risk industry. And even if your business, like if you're in real estate, that's fine. But on the applications for that sake, I always tell people we use words in our LLC like worldwide enterprise marketing consultant because those are deemed low risk. Right. So make sure you stay away from those. And a lot of people talk too much. Like we walk into the banks and we quick to tell the banker, yeah, I'm self-employed, I'm in real estate. Well, you don't know that they're red flagging you. You get yourself denied. So just stick to general industries. All right, low risk. Education is actually the number one funded industry. So you can use that. Like if you're in education field. So even if you're in real estate or, you're in cannabis or any of those high risk industries, always mention consulting, marketing, keep it general. And that'll keep you those 20, 30, and $50,000 limits.
Talk about how important it is to, like, before they go get this money, to have a strategy and plan. Because especially, like I said, in this economy, if you're already in a sticky situation, you don't want to go get more debt, blow it, and then you worsen the situation. So, talk about that for a second.
That's great. So my like I tell people, right, most people skip. I got a 3-step process for just literally what to do with debt. First is get the funding. Number 2 is most people skip. Skip is getting the fast pass, right, to whatever it is you want to do. So if you're saying you want to start a podcast, you're saying you want to start a funding company, whatever it is you want to do, most people think, when I get this money, I'm about to go run the play. Do not run the play first. Do not run the play first. Go get a coach who's already done it, because what that does is it alleviates the money that you're going to waste when you're trying to do it on your own. For example, you go start a podcast, you don't know what equipment to get, you don't know what mics to get. You spent more money wasting time. It costs you more not to get a coach than it did to get a coach. So I always tell people that's the second step. And that's the only reason I got to where I got, because I always understood that you got to follow before you lead, because it's going to fasten and speed up your learning curve. So that's the second thing. And then the third thing is just find a business that has cash flow. So my thing is I teach people how to start and grow funding companies foundationally, because it is the quickest way to make a lot of money with a little bit of overhead.
Cash flow, what they say if you don't got no cash flow, that's the main killer of a business.
It is, absolutely.
And I recall, like, a lot of your students or mentees, they comment, hit me up like, man, there is a truth. Good looking on that video. He helped me do this, he helped me do that. And that was dope to see, because you got, not only it changed your life, but you didn't help a lot of other people.
Facts.
Help them get some money, help them with their business situation.
Absolutely.
So talk about, like, I want you to talk about, like, what you personally, like, how has this, like, this learned information changed your life personally? Absolutely.
So one of our biggest cash flow and parts of our business is our actually funding service of funding business owners, right? So a lot of people, I just showed you all the foundation. I'll get into the funding, but essentially once you learn how to get funding for yourself, you can turn around and do it for everybody. And I say, like they say, if you want to be liked a lot, go sell ice cream. But I say, if you want to be liked a lot, you can sell ice cream or you can start a funding company, because everybody like money, right? So when you sell the service of funding, you're a hot commodity whenever, wherever, however. There's really no limit. So what I tell people is you got 2 options. You can do the funding or you can be a funding broker. So I got people in my program, they're brokering funding and they're making $5,000, $10,000, $15,000 commissions, right? And I'll break down the difference, but essentially, right, every business, let's say this space right here, right, someone needed capital to be able to go attain it, right? Everyone wants it. So what you could do is we have something called an onboarding process where they send us over their information. We got to make sure their credit is in position. And then what we do is I teach people funding sequences. So what banks to go to, where they pull from, and what they're looking for on applications. So let's say you went to 9 banks, you only averaged $10,000 on those credit cards. You're looking at $90,000 that you just got for a client. The way we get paid, and the reason this business is a win-win, is because we don't get paid on the front end. We get paid on the back end. So I charge you nothing up front and I get you 10% success fee on whatever I get you. So if I get you 100,000, that's a 10K payout.
Yeah. And
it ain't cost you really too much, right? Because I teach people, you don't even need to run ads on this. You could build a 7-figure business off of referrals, right? The question I always tell people to ask is, who has my money? So if you're in a funding company, like we leverage realtors, tax brokers, and credit repair specialists, because that's who has my clients, right? So what I do is I teach people, you could go on Instagram, you could go in the search bar, type in credit repair specialist, and you can message all of those credit repair people. Hey, how you doing? My name's Darius. I help small business owners get access to $100,000 to $250,000 in funding. I see what you're doing and you're killing it in credit repair. We're wondering if you were looking to pocket an extra $50,000 to $100,000 this year by partnering with me. Now you got the interest. Who the hell don't want extra?
Everybody gonna listen to that.
Everybody gonna listen to that. That's so what you do is now, we, in terms of affiliate fee, remember I told you we get paid 10% success fee. I break the referral partner off between 1.5 and 3%, depending on the volume. Yeah. But if we get in 100,000, 10K payout, they not mad at $2,000, $3,000. They ain't got to do no work. Mm-hmm. And the thing is, everyone they're sending needs qualified because they're credit repair specialists, right? So the same goes for realtors. Realtors are looking to get people approved for the cribs. They got their clients. Their clients need funding or they need repair. They get approved for the house. Same with tax offices. They get people the money. What's the first thing that we want to do? We want to start businesses and structure LLCs and get funding. So literally, if you go get you 10 referral partners, we talking about easily a couple 100,000 on the low end.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I want to talk about the rent thing. When you talk about adding the rent to your
rent report,
because that's big.
Yeah, and, for sure.
A lot of people don't know that. When they hear it, they go like, "Hold on, what?" Everybody want to do that because somebody that you either own it where you live or where you rent.
That's a fact.
Talk about that for a second.
Absolutely. So one of my favorite plays when it comes to building up that credit report on the personal side, so you can get in position for what we're talking about, is rent. You can go check out our Rent Reporter and Rental Karma. Now, what these sites are going to do is they're going to allow you to report your rent every 30 days to the credit bureaus. In fact, they're going to report in as little as 17 days, right? So the beautiful thing about them is not only are they going to report on-time payments every month, but they're going to allow you to get some age too, right? And the average credit age is super important because that's one of the biggest factors that the business lenders are looking at. So they're going to allow you to backdate 24 months, which is 2 years. So let's say you just go added all those credit builder accounts that I just mentioned. Now we offset that by adding some age from these credit rent reporting accounts. And then if you need more age, what you can do is you go check out TradeLineSupply.com. You could go to the source area and sort by credit age. So let's say you just built out your profile. You like, Darius, I got all these new accounts. I got the accounts, but my age dropped. Well, you go to TradeLine, you source and you buy a higher age credit card that's been around. Let's say it's been around since 2000, right? And you can find it the year 2000. Now you got a 24-year-old age account on your report, and that's going to offset that age, which is going to help us because you want around 4.5, 5 years of average credit history before applying for business funding. And y'all can actually go to, if you go on TradeLine Supply, it has a TradeLine calculator tab. You can punch in your actual products that you have and add the TradeLine that you're going to purchase, and it'll tell you what your age will average out, and it'll also tell you what your utilization will be at, so you know exactly where you need to be before getting the funding.
That's heavy right there.
Yes, sir.
What would you say is the biggest mishap people have after they get the funding? They go through the process, they get the funding, but then they may make a mistake on what would be that biggest mistake you've seen?
The biggest mistake is people thinking they can do something they've never done on their own. The biggest mistake, right? I always say, what you do not know can literally kill you, right? Literally. So people out here, your whole life, you're already doing the very best with who you are and what you know. And we have to be, as people, understand that we don't have all the answers, but there's someone who does, right? And no matter, doing something is better than doing nothing. And you can learn from your own mistakes, but it's much smarter to learn from someone else's mistakes who's already done that thing. So that's the biggest mistake I see, the biggest mistake.
You created, at this point, you created a 7-figure company. You've helped plenty of people get funding for their business. what was, in your opinion, from your experiences, what is the number one money lesson you learned over this time, from either whether it's watching somebody else or from your own experience?
The number one lesson I learned with money is if you want to master money, you have to have the ability to have delayed gratification. That's it. So what happens is most people, when we make money, especially where we from, like I'm from the neighborhood. So, when you get money, you're like, I'm outside, I'm going to get the Gucci's, the Pradas, all that. But if you could delay gratification, you'll pass everyone because most people can't. So like when I made money my first 9 months in business and we was getting to it, but I still was not spending on things that didn't give me a return.
Really?
I was just spending on putting it back into advertisement, Facebook ads, podcasts, whatever, because you got to understand that it's just compound. So if you could continue to do that, you'll continue to grow. If you make money, then you spend the money on things that don't give you a return, you're right back at square zero. So you're really not growing. The point is to create more leverage. Money is a tool. I think people think money is just something you make to be spent, but money is a tool to acquire wealth. And that's the number one mistake I see that people make.
That's real, bro.
Yeah.
And I think people also think they have more than they actually have.
Because they don't know their numbers. That's a fact. Not knowing your numbers will kill you.
That is true. Yeah, you think you super up. You have a good month.
Facts.
Like, hold on. With that bread, I just ran it up with that bread.
Exactly. Though. And not knowing taxes. Like as business owners, like we got ADP now, so payroll is cool because we pay our staff and then they take the taxes out for me, which is a game changer because the first year in business, everyone gonna go through it. But your first year in business, you going crazy, you think it's yours, then you realize at the end of the year, damn, I owe them people. Because one thing you're going to have to do is pay those people. So you're going to learn that lesson. And then the next lesson is how do I keep money, right?
That's the hard part.
That's the hard part. And then the third part is how do I make my money make money for me? So it's learning. Like I always say, like the longer you stay in the game, the better you get. It's just growing pains that everybody going to go through for sure.
It is. I was talking to somebody recently. He was like 24, 25, and he was telling me he made his first million. And he was just being vulnerable with me. He made his first million like a year or two previously, but he ended up losing it. Wow. And I'm like, yo, you shouldn't even be that down on yourself. Facts. Because that's not uncommon, bro.
Facts.
And when you that young, you don't really know. Like you said, you talk about taxes. You talk about knowing how to manage it, knowing how to keep it. Like, that's more than likely going to happen. I was telling somebody the other day, I'm like, anybody that you see with bread that done had it for 10 years straight, 20 years straight, they ain't no, excuse my language, they ain't no pussy.
Facts.
Facts. You got money that long, because when you got it, and if people know you got it, everybody
won't ask you. That's
whether
it.
it's on some corporate stuff,
family,
street stuff, some family stuff. Everybody looking to kind of get over on you. So if you was able to manage that and maintain it,
you're right.
You a G for it. You got some characteristics of a G.
Absolutely.
Even if people might look at you like that dude a nerd. Nah,
he got some heart. He do.
So it's like managing money, bro. Like people think getting it is the hard part.
It's not keeping it
Bro,
and flipping it.
Keeping it and flipping it.
Absolutely.
That's like that take real strategy. Do you think that's just something that comes with, do you have to bump your head multiple times for you to get it, or that's something that you can?
I think it depends on the person. Like I believe our environment controls everything, and then also how you grew up. So for some people, if let's say you were surrounded by maybe Mom Dukes was great with managing money, or everyone you grew up with was, it's probably gonna be a little easier for that person. But for person B, it's like they might have to bump their head a few times. They say the average millionaire, goes bankrupt 2 or 3 times before they actually.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely. But the great thing about it is, bro, if you have the ability to make money, usually you've acquired a skill set, which means you always have the ability to make it again, right? Like they say, the average lottery winner goes back to broke within 12 months, and it's because he or she hasn't yet become the person to keep the money, right? They say if all the money in the world was evenly distributed, it would be right back into the hands because they are become the people who deserve the money. Like people be like, I deserve the money. The only people who deserve the money are the people who have the money because they've done what's required. So it's a learning lesson, and like you gonna grow through it. You gonna grow through what you go through. That's what I always say.
How important would you think is like education in this process? And when I say education, I just don't mean like the universities and stuff like that. I just mean like somebody that's consistently educating themselves, trying to learn all these different things when it comes to this money game.
Education is everything. Like, bro, I wouldn't be here where I was. I wasn't the guy who was smart in school at all. I barely graduated for real.
Me too, bro.
Yeah. But it's crazy. I'm finding it seemed like, all the C+, all the C- students is out here getting it.
I'm D- probably, bro.
Fact.
I hated school, bro.
Yeah.
I'm ditching. I'm trying to hang out with women.
Yeah.
Like I wasn't even trying to.
Just wilding.
First, second, third period, I'm like, man, this boring. I'm going.
I'm
home,
out.
bro.
Yeah.
My mom used to be. She was when I graduated. She was like, woo.
I don't know how you made it, right?
I don't know how you did it. Like, so I know exactly what you mean.
Nah, facts. But self-education is everything. Personal development, because it's like you think about college, like you go pay $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 a year now, and pay that over 4 years. That's $200,000 in debt. You come out, you getting $40,000, $50,000 a year. What kind of return is that? But you could learn from people who are doing the things and what we do. You could come learn how to run a funding company. You pay $5,000, $10,000, but now you learn how to make $10,000 to $50,000 a month, right? So I believe the return on investment, the ROI, is everything in self-development and learning skill sets.
Do you, with that being said, do you think college is a scam today?
I'll say this. I know they're gonna probably eat me up. I'll say hell yeah, it's a scam, bro. That shit a scam for sure.
What makes you say that?
I just did the math. 50,000. So 50,000 times 4 years is $200,000 in debt to come out and get 50,000 a year, but I gotta pay taxes on it. So I'm really only keeping $33,000 a year. Yep. And then I go out, I go get a crib, I go settle down. We have a kid. I have what I think is an asset. A single family house is really low key a liability because if you don't pay them people, they come in and take your house. Exactly. So it's like, it's low key and they'll give you the money. But you go to get a business loan or a business fund, you don't know what you're doing. They make you go through these hula hoops. I teach people how to get approved without having to provide no documentation. But a lot of business owners are getting denied. 63% of business owners get denied for business funding when they're looking at it.
That's high, bro.
Because lack of education. You don't know what they're looking for, applications, how your credit needs to look, what banks to go to, and all these things.
And the access to funding, that's what you need.
That's everything. It's leverage.
That's leverage.
Yep.
I agree with you, bro. I feel like if you ain't going to school to be a doctor, a lawyer, engineer, there's some other positions I can't think of
that
right
you
now,
need to.
That you really need to go and you're gonna make some good money. Other than that, I think it's definitely it's a finesse.
Absolutely.
It's a legal finesse for real. I'm with you on that wholeheartedly. What would you say, somebody listening and watching, right? They started the business. They may be making a little money, but they like, yo, I need more funding. Mm-hmm. Like, I feel like I didn't reach my peak on what I can do. So I need to, what's your advice to that person?
Okay, I would say make sure y'all follow me on the gram at Darius Benders. I'm actually doing a 5-day boot camp where I'm going to fund y'all live, but can I give them a play to how to go get a quick 100,000? Yep. All right, so what y'all could do, right, when it comes to business funding, I'm going to show you how to get 100,000 in either 0% or low interest funding, right? So the key is knowing what banks pull from which bureaus, right? You got Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion. So a funding sequence that y'all could use, I'm going to get this out for free. Y'all go do what y'all want with it, is if you're looking to find some lenders that pull from Experian, we go check out Chase. The reason we want to start with Chase is because they got something called a 524 rule, which means that if you have more than 5 new credit cards within a 24-month period, then they will deny you, right? But Chase is known for giving out high limits. I'm talking about $40,000 to $75,000, 0% interest for 12 months on the income limited card and the business cash card. Next lender I will go to is American Express. The reason why is because we can go get 5 business credit cards with just 1 inquiry. So we talk about the business, the Blue Plus, the Blue Cash. The reason if you're a new entrepreneur, you want to start with those is because those are both 0% interest for 12 months. Then if you're a intermediate, advanced entrepreneur, check out the gold, the plum, and the platinum. The gold and the platinum are going to require you to pay those back in full, though, within 30 days. That's called a charge card. And then the plum is also a charge card, but they give you 60 days to pay that balance in full. If you don't have those balances paid in full, what happens is your interest goes up very high. And of course, we're into putting people in the best position, which is why I emphasize 0% interest. The third credit card that I would run from Experian is going to be Navy Fed. Now, most people think Navy Fed is pulls from TransUnion because on the personal side, they do. But on the business side, they're going to pull from Experian. All right, so y'all could go get 5 plus 1 plus 2. That's 8 business credit cards just from one bureau. The beautiful thing about the business side is we can always remove the inquiries, right? Because anything that we get in the business side shouldn't be attached to the personal side, so you could go remove those inquiries and run some more plays. The next bureau is TransUnion. So if we wanted to go get some funding from banks that pull from TransUnion, we can go check it. GM Markets, they got 0% for 9 months on their credit card, and it's a pre-approval, meaning they're gonna let you know if you got approved before getting a hard inquiry. Then you can go check out Univest, all right? And then I tell everyone to go to your Google, right? Go to your Google and type in Elon Financial banks in your area. Elon Financial just means they're smaller banks. They might be in the neighborhood. It might be right in the hood. But what they are is they're powered by a third-party company called Elon Financial. They give out the bag. I'm talking about 25,000 out the gate. And they all have the same format of the website and the same products. So they have a 0% for 6 months business credit card and it's 0% for 18 months business credit card. So if you want to get in a whatever, Airbnb, car rental funding, now you got 18 months where you could go out, put money into it, go marketing before that interest starts to accrue. So now we got 3 cards from TransUnion. And then in terms of Equifax, y'all can go check out Citizens. That's a regional bank. Regional means that it's not national based. So depending on your state, certain states have those lenders, right? Truist is the same way and KeyBank is the same way. All of those pull from Truist. But if you are looking to get funding from those lenders and that institute isn't in your state, what you could do is you could file something called a foreign entity. So when you get a foreign entity, it means that you go set up a foreign entity in the specific state that you want funding from that only lends to businesses in that state. And then you go get you a business address from opus.com. And now you have the address there and your LLC is eligible to get funding there. So now we can go run those plays if you want to run some of those regional plays. And that's how you can easily, bro, on the low end go. That's a $150,000 sequence right there.
How would you advise, like, let's say if somebody go do that, right, and they got access to 150 now, but let's say in their personal or checkings or savings, they got 10 or 15,000. Mm-hmm. Would you advise them to spend what they can, what matches their account, or how would you advise somebody to do that?
Great question. So that's actually a great question. So if someone has 10 to 15,000 in their personal accounts, what I would tell them to do to maximize the limits that they get from the plays I just gave you on the business side is go put some of that money in those business accounts to build that relationship. Because if you go sit $5,000 in Chase, you sit it there for a month. Now when you go to apply for that product, they see, oh, this person has money, their business is set up, and their personal credit's in order. That takes you from getting a $25,000, $30,000 limit to now that 50 to 75, right? Then what I would do is after we got approved for that product, I'll take that same 5K that was there and I'll move it to the next play, whether it was American Express or BOA or whatever it may be. Now we can keep using that 5K, move it around to get these high limits, right? In terms of what percentage you should spend, I think that's what you were saying. Yeah. On the personal side, be very careful. My rule is 20%, right? If you go get 100,000 in personal funding or 50,000, whatever it is, do not utilize more than 20% at a time for investment purposes because you don't yet have a cash flowing business yet that can guarantee that income. Right. And the worst thing you could do is get stuck when you got high utilization. There's ways out of it. I talked about the SoFi, the Upstart, but we could avoid those by leveraging 20%. On the business side, go leverage it. You know why? Because anything on the business side is not going to report to the personal side. So if we go max out our business funding on things that bring us more money, whether it's knowledge, marketing, cash flow, that's okay because even if it's 100% utilization, it's not going to report on the personal side. So now we have that ability to go out and create the wealth that we want to create.
I like that. And the reason I asked that question is because like years ago, this was like 10, 12 years ago, I seen someone get funding to buy a restaurant. And I can't remember exactly how much it was, but they cashed out all the money, getting the restaurant, getting things for the restaurant. Then they didn't have any money for anything else. And then it didn't pop off and generate money. It was like, oh, damn.
Yeah, they over-leverage. And it's a big mistake. It happens. Like, people come to me after they've over-leveraged, like, yo, D, can you help me out? And we got to run certain plays. Like, I gave y'all, the plays that you got high utilization, but there's other ones too. You go to meettally.com and they have a debt consolidation loan they'll allow you to. And those things can save you. But if you had like 80 or more percent, a lot of these places, they're not giving you that. So then what happens is they tell you got to consolidate all these cards, but they also tell you we're going to close all the accounts. And then that's a different issue. So make sure that you don't ever leverage. And that's transparently, that's a mistake I made at first. Really? Like a lot of this stuff I'm teaching from his experience. Like when I first got this funding, man, I was like, I'm going crazy. Like, who can I pay to get me the fast pass? I'm paying all these coaches and stuff, but I didn't care because I knew I had the mindset. Like, people say, like, how'd you grow so fast? It's only been 2 years I've been on the internet. But the reason I grew fast, I realized now. I didn't realize it for a while because as you coach people, you start to be like, yo, why don't they execute like that? But what I realized is the reason I grew fast is because, success is a mindset plus skill set thing. But I came into this with already a mindset. So once I could acquire the skills, it was easy. But a lot of people were starting at zero they got to develop the mindset and the skill set. I got to teach them how to think and grow rich. I got to teach them how to just be confident enough to do the work that we tell them to do. So it's a total different ball game instead of like, when you coaching people who are already making 10, 20,000 a month, it's just like, go run the play because they already got that confidence. They don't need you to affirm you going to do it. They already motivated because they already get into the money. So the hardest thing to do is get people who are at 0 to get off the ground and get to level 3, 4, 5 so they can grow.
You talked about how like many businesses, especially after they start making money, they oftentimes end up filing bankruptcy. Mm-hmm. So if somebody listening or watching, right, and they've been through that process or they getting ready to go through it, does this information apply to them as well? Can they do these things if they've been through a bankruptcy already?
Yeah, absolutely. You got to remove the bankruptcy. And we use a software, Metro 2 compliance software to be able to remove negative items. Bankruptcy is included. We've gotten bankruptcies removed. But yeah, you always get a fresh start. That's the great thing about credit, bro. It's like, I don't care how jacked up your situation is, what you got going on.
I've seen people come from some treacherous stuff.
Treacherous. Talking about child supports, repossessions, whatever you got, it can come off. That's the beautiful thing. So I really tell people like we live in a time where there ain't no excuse to be broke. Like, I don't care where you at. Somebody took a worse situation than you and made it happen. So yeah, definitely.
Yeah, no, that's good because like I said, it's I've heard some crazy stories, but I've also heard people come from crazy stories and get back up.
More for sure.
And even better than they ever was before.
Because what don't kill you make you stronger. And when you start over, you're not starting from 0, you're starting from experience.
Facts.
That's what most people don't understand. That's why you might see somebody, they've been doing something 10 years and like, you wondering like, wait, why are they growing faster than the person who's at 0? It's because they're not starting from where you start from.
Facts.
Your chapter 1 and their chapter 20 ain't the same. It's some things you just know from experience.
Right, because bro, that's real because some people are still more valuable than the average person, even if they have $0.
Exactly.
Just because of what they
know.
What they got up there.
Exactly.
They hustle, they work after all that. And you talk about the mindset. You said you already had the mindset when you came in. Where did that come from and how did you develop that? So
that's a great question. So for me, bro, I had that since I was about 15 years old. Both my parents, like my pop's an entrepreneur. He been an entrepreneur his whole life. He had multiple barbershops. He owned a lot of real estate now. So him and then my mom's, I grew up with, my mom's more so watching her really work. Like my mom had me young. I watched her just making no excuses. So foundationally, it was them. And then I played football. So football for me was really the thing that developed like who I am now. I always say that. I know the entrepreneur I am now is because of sports. So I was a walk-on who ended up on a Division I school who ended up who ended up becoming a starter. And if you know sports, like you got a better chance of hitting the lottery than doing that. But what it taught me was really like we could do anything. So throughout that experience, there's a lot of ups, there's downs. There's times transparently I wanted to quit because I'm like this. First day you walk in, coach like, listen, you could do this, but you might as well just go to class. And you hearing that, you like, damn, I didn't transfer 4 times just to get here to get the opportunity to come tell me that. But what it did for me is it really made me understand that like there's nothing I can't do. So now I operate like that in this business. And even in entrepreneurship, even at like high levels, you really start to notice like, I don't know if you ever felt like this, but you'll look up to people. Then when you get to that level or around, you start to realize like, damn, they just like me. Or like, you know what I'm saying? We about to go up. Mm-hmm. So you start to realize it's like the bar is set really low. Like it is really low. If you just show up every day, you're going to pass 90% of people. No, that's like, no, you ain't lying, bro. Yeah. That's a fact. And and you also telling the truth about as far as when you hit a certain level, you start, how can I put it? You obviously have respect and admiration for people, but to put them on a pedestal or somebody that it shouldn't even be there anyway, to be honest. But it just is. There's a lot of times when you come from nothing, you look at somebody that you like, damn, that's dude. But it's like, yo, he a regular person like you. He just might know a little bit. Something, exactly. Or resources. Facts. So, that's because the mindset part, bro, I feel like that's the biggest struggle for a lot of people. You know what I'm saying? Like, even people that got money sometimes struggle with that. Absolutely. Yeah. That ain't just that's everyone thing at every level, and everyone thinks it's just what's the gems, what's the hacks. And that's why people be like, why you give out so much game? Like, because I know that I want y'all to go crazy with it, but I know most of y'all just not gonna do it. They're gonna find some way to be scary. Oh, can you really do that? Because people just got stinking thinking. I say they overthink everything, bro. I'm telling you. You need to train about this. I'm telling you. What's been your biggest on this journey so far? What's been like the biggest L you took, if you don't mind sharing that? The biggest L on this journey, like since we've been winning or prior to? Since you've been winning. Oh, since we've been winning, the biggest L I took. Stripe, Well, they held our money. They held like $38,000 for like 6 months for me. Yeah, because if y'all got Stripe out there, don't use Stripe no more.
Really?
I ain't trying. Yo, man, Stripe, they terrible. But they shutting down accounts out here. They now it's saying they're doing away with course creators and coaches. So if you're a course creator coach, go check out some of these other payment processors. We took that L. The biggest thing is I was on a webinar. I had spent probably like $12,000 to get people there, and then freaking computer died, bro, in the middle of it. Yeah, so that was an L. Yeah. That'll have you sick. Yeah, that'll have you sick. Yeah.
Hold on, so was it like one of those?
It was on me, bro.
Oh, damn.
The freaking thing wasn't in. I forgot it wasn't in. Yeah, I ready to throw the freaking laptop out the window, bro. I was sick.
No, I know it.
Yeah, sick.
I know you was
sick.
And the reason I asked that question, because I feel like a lot of times, like you hit 7 figures in your company. A lot of times when people hear that, they just think like it's a smooth selling.
Hell no.
He ain't got no bumps in the road.
Hell no.
That's what people think.
Nah, it's a lot of like you might have like that. You got to be so strong mentally when you get in there, because you might be on a high sometimes, and then there might be lows. Like we might have $150,000 a month, and then in the summertime, like what I learned about our business is certain times of the year is slower. So I already know I'm prepared. December, I'm cooking December this year. Last year, December kicked my ass. That was our lowest month of the year. That shit was depressing. I know June is a slower month, so you got to prepare for those times. You might hit 150 May. June, you might hit 75, 60,000, 50,000. And people don't understand. I like to be transparent with people in businesses. Understand that if we do 150,000, that's not all profit. I got real business expenses. You know, my staff makes about fixed expenses about $12,000 to $15,000 a month. And then if you're spending on advertisement, you have something called ROI, right? What did you spend? What did you get back? And that's why knowing your numbers is everything, right? So we use a software called Hyros that allows us to see where our money is coming from. So after this episode, when I put it in my link, Hyros would tell me who came from Millionaire Mindset, so I could track that and know how to be more efficient. Because if you don't know where your money's coming from, then you don't ever get to a point where you can create predictable cash flow. You're always going to be guessing. And a lot of people don't have that. So the best thing we did was I hired an operations manager, and she's cold. We get our P&L sheets, what we spent, you know, what went in, what came out, so that I can see, oh, this isn't a good use of money, or, you know, we're going to do this in terms of this. So most businesses just don't take the time to actually understand their business, which you got to do if you want to continuously grow.
Hiring the operations manager, what was the how did you know like this was the right person?
So I actually got lucky with her. So my guy Adrian, he was doing interviews to hire one for his business because he was looking to scale, and he had a tough choice out of 3 candidates. She was the one that he didn't hire, but he knew I was looking for one too. So he told me about her, and he highly recommended her. I brought her in. Bro, she came in my business. She said, I don't even know how you function in this joint. So she shut down the whole, she literally said, we're getting rid of this, that. She wiped it all out. She built it out. She was like, I'm just impressed that you make your money with this thing.
No, what was your reaction?
Oh, my reaction was, at first I'm like, what are you doing? But once it started working, I seen what she's doing. I was like, all right, bet, this in your hands. And yeah, she's cold, bro. She trains all our VA. She handled the whole operation, the whole systems, onboarding processes, everything. And the growth in our business, the biggest thing is like, as coaches, consultants, even a lot of us are worried about the cash flow that comes in, but you got to understand customer ascension and customer retention. So for example,
that's real.
Our onboarding process, the minute somebody buys from me, they get a call from my team within 5 minutes, because there's something called buyer remorse. We charging people 5, 10, I got a $30,000 mastermind. Also, these people are paying. If they don't get a call, they sign up on Thursday, they don't hear from nobody until Monday. What you think they hear Friday, Saturday, Sunday? They thinking, damn, did I get scammed? Is that, you know, did I really want to do this? It's called buyer's remorse. So to alleviate that, you have someone call, you tell them where they're going to get access to their course, their community, you tell them the things that they can tap into now. So now it sets them at ease. And we also have a CSM, a client success manager. What that does is it allows you to make sure that every person who enrolls in your program is getting hands-on support. They're getting checked in, they're getting accountability, because we talked about the mindset piece. What happens when people feel lost? They need someone they could go to. So adding that and adding her has changed the game. Like we don't we send out a survey every 60 days in our program. What do you guys think? 1 through 10, rate us. What's the thing that you don't like about the business? And we say be very transparent because it helps us grow the business. Most people are scared of feedback because they think, but that's what helps you grow, right? You can't grow what you don't know, right? So that's been a big game changer. And what we do is we get common answers to that, then we add it in. Like people were saying, man, I wish I had a little more one-on-one support. Okay, we added a client success manager, and now she takes one-on-one calls that they can book. So you alleviate problems by just caring. Most people, the problem is to make money in this business, you just have to care, bro. It's just about caring for the people. How do you care for someone? You ask somebody what they need, what can make it better, how can you help? And if you do that, your customer reviews are going to be through the roof, which means you can have higher customer ascension, which means ascending to your next level. So I got people who come in, they spend $3,000 with me, $5,000 with me, and now they're in our $30,000 mastermind because we served them so well at the $5,000. Why would they go see another coach when they already know if Darius says in this next offer you're going to learn webinars or scaling or systems? I know that says he's going to stand on what he said he's going to do because that's what he did at the low offer.
No, I love that, bro. On a business, even personal level, with hitting that 7-figure mark, how has things around you changed personally, whether it's friendships and all that stuff? Like, cause people, when that happens, people start looking at you a little differently now.
Facts.
The way they looked at you before, now it's like,
facts.
Darius.
Yeah.
The whole time, what up, D? Now it's like,
that's a fact. Yeah. I'm gonna keep it a buck. I'm gonna tell y'all out there, fellas, go get some money. Cause, in terms of I feel like people kind of lie to themselves a little bit, women's all about money. And I don't ever lead with money. Like I tell fellas, you shouldn't lead with money. But you gotta think, right? The type of woman that we want as men is a woman who's high quality, right? Someone we want to raise a family with. You want your shorty to look good, feel good, be mentally good. But she wants her man to be the same way. So my job as a man is to be better in all facets. It ain't just money, it's mindset. It's making sure you being in the gym, trying to get in the best shape of your life in all facets. But yeah, when you get some money, people do change. Like, I ain't gonna say my family's crazy aggressive, let me get some money. But every once in a while, people hey, can I hold some? But the biggest thing I see is, woman's definitely gone. The biggest. Yeah.
What about friendships? Friendships still the same?
My friendships, for the most part, so what I do is this. I got my day ones, right? And those is my guys. But transparently, we don't talk as much, but I still check in with the gang. I got my people that I make money with now, my day two. I done made a lot more money with my day twos. And those are who I talk to more because friendships are formed based on commonalities. So we all trying to get to the money. We all in this space. That's what I'm talking about. But I still check in, the group chat, what's going on, fellas. Still kick it with some of my day ones for sure.
How important is it? Because this is something that it took me a while to learn. How important is it to understand the difference between it may be a business friend and somebody that's a friend. Because I feel like a lot of times people get it misconstrued and they skew the lines on that.
Facts. That's good. I would say what happens is a lot of times, bro, your business friends will turn into your real friends, but you still do have the friends who are just based on business. And I got some of those. Yo, pull up tonight. We're about to mastermind at the crib, right? We don't really do much outside of that, but I'm cool with it because we getting money. You just might get money friend, right? And then I got friendships who we did business together and now we like family, right? I always say, even mentors, a lot of my mentors turned to friend tours because I was a dude, I'm going hard in the class. So now we formed a family type relationship where I can lock in, tap in with them and we just chop it up and build.
How, because I know you in Atlanta now and you left Boston, right? You left Boston, went to Atlanta. How do you feel about leaving your hometown? Is that something, because since you did it, is that something that you recommend to other people? What's your thoughts on that? So most people think, even back home, they be like, yo, you went to Atlanta, went crazy. And most people think that when I went to Atlanta, I went crazy. I went to Atlanta because I wanted to go to Atlanta. I believe if I was in Boston, I still would have been doing the same things. But it probably would have been at a little slower rate because the environment is everything. I just always wanted to be there. Environment is everything, though, for sure. So if you're around a bunch of people who's on the same vision you on, as a default, you're going to level up, right? It's impossible not to. But yeah, I love my city, bro. Boston, I feel like Boston definitely makes you tough. Up north places make you tough because,
a lot of people don't really show love like that. Like, if people showing you love, it's because you really going crazy, because people don't really always want to. So, exactly. But that resistance make you stronger, it make you bigger, because it make you, I got to go harder. Like, I got to keep doing my thing. But yeah, I mean, I recommend it. Getting out your comfort zone is everything. So when you move, you definitely got to start fresh.
What would you say to somebody that's hesitant or fearful about taking that leap? Because they like, man, I don't know nobody in this new city. Like, I'm thinking about it. I know I should do it, but I'm scared as hell. What would you say?
Well, I say, fear and faith can never coexist, right? So you got to pick one. And that's just the facts. That's where business, we're moving, with relationships, with everything. Fear and faith can never coexist. So if you know that you want to be the best you, then I would tell a person, always go with the thing that never let fear hold them back, right? Because fear, they say 92% of fear is all made up. All the things that we think, all the scenarios that we think are going to happen to, they don't really happen. It's just a false belief. So I'll say, for me, operating in faith has been the reason that we've been able to grow. And I believe what I see amongst successful entrepreneurs is we all operate in faith. Like, when you started the pod, like, there was probably a million people who wanted to start and grow it. You still going. Probably 95% of people who was wherever you learned it from, they stop. They stop.
Most definitely.
Yeah.
They stop. How do you, well, speaking of people like stopping doing the process of thing, I feel like right now, specifically in these times, economically, a lot of people are putting a pause on things. I've been seeing so many content creators and business people like, man, I went back, got me a job. I seen a girl, she was I forgot, she was in something with like cosmetics or whatever, right? She went back to work at McDonald's. Cosmetics. I said cosmetics. I said, I'm the cosmetics. God damn, I'm tripping. Cosmetics. Hey, cosmetics. Oh, they would be like, man, this man is slow as hell. What are you talking about? Yeah, she was a cosmetics shit, but she went back to McDonald's, bro. And she make her whole like content now centered around like that. She like, I ain't too good to go back to get a job. And so it's like, that's happening a lot right now. So like, what's your thoughts and opinions on that? Like, where we at as like a society when it comes to that?
When it comes to bouncing back, essentially?
Like bouncing back, going through, like dealing with an economy that's less
up and down.
Up and down.
Got you. Great question. So I would say consistency over intensity, right? Because a lot of the times, like during pandemic, a lot of people came up, right? And that was the time, and it was getting busy. But when things leveled out, they found out maybe they weren't quite that person that they thought they were, right? No, and that's real. That's real. Because it's tough out here. But, one of my favorite books is 10X Rule by Grant Cardone. He talked about how during the real estate recession or whatever, like most people were retreating, but he was more aggressive. So I'm going to tell y'all out there, if you're an entrepreneur, you really believe in yourself, be more aggressive in these times, right? Learn more information, spend more on marketing, whatever you're doing, because most people are going to retreat. And if you take a L, just know that you can always bounce back. And like I said earlier, if you have the ability to make money one time, it's probably because you have a skill set. So you can always go back and run it back up again. Just learn from what you lost last time. So for Shorty who's working at McDonald's, I don't know her situation, but figure out where the bottlenecks were and what didn't work out and go get better at that thing, and she could be back up. And her mind's already been exposed to it. So the person who's at zero and never been there, they like, damn, it's a pipeline dream still. But for a person who's been there, you know what it's like. Some things once you see, you can't unsee them. Like, you're not going to go from making $50,000 to ever settling at the $20 an hour. So even if she's there right now, she'll probably be back up soon, right? If she keeps doing what she needs to do to get back, whatever skills it took.
No, I agree with that. Yeah. What when it comes to funding, because I feel like this is a great thing to help everybody that's listening. What would you say, like, because I know, like you said, getting 100K and we said 60 days or 90 days.
You get 100K. If your profile's already, you get 100K in 30 days. If you got to build your profile, I tell you, you typically like 60 to 90 days because we got to build it up, let those things age out a little bit, and then go get some fun.
So if your profile already there, you get it.
If your profile is already good, we can go get you the bag within the next 7 to 21 days. Yeah.
That's some major information.
Oh yeah, business funding is a cheat code to life, bro. I started this whole thing off funding. Like there wasn't no nothing else. It was just funding. That's why I teach it the way I teach it. I talk about it like that because like people be like, yo, where to start? I don't got no hope. Now you got hope. This is the cheat code. Go get some money. Because what's the problem where we coming from? Oh, I got these ideas, but I don't got the money to back them. Yo, I came up with this idea. I can't wait to run the play. You ain't got the money though. So when I learned that this right here and I see what it did for my life, I'm like, I got to put the word out there. I got to teach the masses because, it's leverage. The entrepreneur who has the most leverage always wins.
Yep. How many hours a day would you say you dedicated to your business? And it's a reason I'm asking this question.
Mm-hmm.
Like how many hours a day?
So for me, I'm kind of psycho, bro. Like I work a lot.
I can tell. That's why I asked.
Yeah. But you don't gotta work like how I work to make a lot of money. Yeah. So I want to be clear. Like I don't really have no balance, right? So people always ask me about balance, and I believe it's just what you want. Like I got people in my program. They run a funding company. They work a couple hours a week, right? But for me, we're nowhere near where I want to be. You
doing 12s?
I probably do 8 to 10. 8 to 10.
Okay.
Yeah, Sunday I take half a day, just chill myself, do my thing. And the second half I'll kind of prep for the week. But yeah, we work a lot.
Okay.
Yeah.
Would you say like that you're like obsessed with your business?
Yeah, I'm obsessed with, I'm obsessed with becoming the best me. Like, I want to see what can I max out on. Like Kevin Hart always talks about, like, what's your book look like? Like when we leave this earth, like what does the chapters in your book look like? So for me, the biggest fear is going out being like, damn, I wish I could have. Like even my L's, right? Like I didn't make it to the league, right? But the fact that I was like, damn, like I got to be a Division I starter, like for me, it was crazy because when that wasn't a thought process. Like, I wasn't a 4'4" dude, I wasn't 6'2", 220, but the fact that I could think it and really make it happen was like, damn. So what it did was in business, now I'm like, can I run this thing up? Can I build a $100 million company one day? What does that look like? What do I have to do? Who do I have to become? Because most people, they work hard on the business, but that's wrong. You work hard on you because the better you get, the easier it gets. The business is a byproduct of us. So people be like, I got to chase the bag. You don't chase the bag, you attract the bag by becoming the type of person that money will be attracted to, more consistent, more disciplined. What's the difference? It's the discipline. Like there's some people, they not ever going out, like they not ever getting lit. They just focus on becoming the best of them. And it's leadership qualities, right? It's more focus. It's the difference in good and great and the GOATs. Like we talk about basketball, Jordan and Kobe and LeBron, they the GOATs because they was already talented as hell. They was going to be superstars regardless. But the work ethic and the discipline is what made them the GOATs, right? So, for me, it's always about that, like just trying to get better as a person because the business is easier if I do that part.
And this probably the final question I got for you. So everybody that's watching and listening, right? And they like, yo, I'm about to figure out how to get this money. Mm-hmm. How can they, one, contact you where you can help them? And what would be your best piece of advice right now that could get them started, get that ball rolling ASAP? Right after listening.
Okay, fire. So if you want some money right now, maybe you at like a 660 to like a 700 plus, and you just want to see if you got some money available. You go check out Dover. Go to Google, type in Dover credit card pre-approval, type in Nassau credit card pre-approval, type in Christian credit community pre-approval, and go to Truist. Truist, type in pre-approval. What they're gonna do is you're gonna put in some information, your name, your address, your social, and they're gonna do a pre-approval. What that means is they're gonna let you know if you have any offers and for how much before getting a hard inquiry. So it's no risk. If you don't get any offers, you got nothing. But what we do is we fund people live, and on this boot camp I'm doing, I'm gonna be funding them live. Last time we did it, we funded over $600,000 on a live call because we dropped the pre-approval. People get to see if they got offers. And it's a game changer because like you coming on just to learn and you realize that you got some money that's waiting for you. So that's one play y'all can run if y'all want to get some money right now. And then where y'all can follow me at is all platforms, Darius Benders. I'm doing a 5-day boot camp. It's going to be, I'm going to be showing you how to get access to funding, enhance your credit, and then how to make money. A lot of people talk about getting the funding, but I'm going to really show y'all all the streams of income in my business and show you how to duplicate, whether it's a funding company or starting and growing with digital products and services. So at Darius Benders, DM me the word boot camp, and I'm going to send you the link.
And this is my final one. This is a quick question. I probably know what your answer is going to be. OPM or putting up your own bread?
Come on, man. OPM all day. It's leverage. So look, leverage, right? Everything other people's. So this is the wealth formula, right? Other people's money, other people's intellectual property, and then other people's audience. So
what you mean by other people's intellectual property?
What they know.
Okay.
Right.
Okay,
so what they teach, right? So I don't want to learn from my mistakes. I want to learn from yours, right? Right. Because it's going to get me there faster. Mm-hmm. And then other people's audience, when you marketing, podcasts, shout out pages, influencers, it allows you to just grow faster. So if you leverage those other people's money, other people's intellectual property, to other people's audience, you should never have a money issue.
And that's ain't no better way I can wrap up than that. First, I want to say I appreciate you coming through. Every time we do an episode, we go crazy. I know this is going to be well received. And before we wrap up, y'all follow my bro Darius Benders on all platforms. Tap in if you want to get that funding. I'm going to put that link in the show notes so y'all get active ASAP. And as for me, y'all can follow me on all platforms. I'm at Xavier C. Miller and the Millionaire Mindsets Pod. That's on all platforms as well. Appreciate y'all tuning in. See you guys next episode. Peace.
Yeah.